So, funny story before I get into this review. I was supposed to review Alien Covenant last week when I had originally seen it the Thursday before it actually came to theaters the next day on Friday, but I was tired. I saw the movie really late and I wasn't able to do the review. But with Pirates of the Caribbean coming out and Wonder Woman coming out and The Mummy and me rolling out all these other reviews, I just thought that I should keep to my word and give you my review of Alien Covenant. So, Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant is the sixth, I believe, movie in the Alien franchise. Seven, technically, if you want to count Prometheus, but it's technically, I guess, seven, but people consider it six because it's the sixth one with the actual Alien branded name in it. Anyway, Alien Covenant basically takes place 10 years after Prometheus and explores brand new crew on the ship called the Covenant, which is composed of members Daniels, Tennessee, their captain or acting captain Chris after their original captain James Franco dies, and basically they're on a mission to start a colony of humans. And they've chosen a planet, they've vetted it, they think it's absolutely great to start a new colony on, and then they hear a distress signal, and boom, we have a movie. So originally, the movie kind of plays it pretty safe because any alien movie has pretty much done the same thing up till this point. You got a crew, they hear something, they go to another planet, bing bang boom, it's dangerous, there's an aliens there, and we have an alien movie, basically. What I thought was interesting is that, first of all, Michael Fassbender straight up kills it in this role. In this movie, he plays two roles. He plays David from Prometheus, who is the android that basically was like very fascinated with the engineers' technology and everything, and sort of brought into light their language and everything, and was the one at the end of Prometheus that was just like, oh, I know how to pilot their ship, and I can help us get there, when he tells Shaw this at the end of Prometheus. And then he's playing that character, and then in addition he's playing the upgraded model of David, which is Walter, who has a little bit dumbed down, well, not dumbed down intelligence, but I guess thinks more like a computer rather than as a human would, and has that inability to form like outside opinions like David has. So when we meet David in this movie, he kind of fills a little bit of the gaps that were left in between Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Because, like I said, it takes place over the span of 10 years in between Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And I believe the next movie is supposed to take place in between those 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. That's what Ridley Scott says, but I digress. Anyway, so David basically comes to this planet, which our crew ends up going to this planet because they hear the distress signal. The distress signal leads them to this planet, and they believe that this planet would be a primary candidate to settle down and start the Covenant on, the actual human new colony of humans. But it ends up to be a bad mistake because we find out later that this planet is the engineer homeworld, which David and Shaw were trying to find in between Prometheus and Alien Covenant. They go there. David releases this virus which was aboard the engineer ship, which kills off the entire engineer population. And in the process, over the last 10 years, David ends up creating what we know as the xenomorphs, but what is referred to by the alien community as both the neomorph and the protomorph. But to me, they're basically the same thing, or at least the early stages of what we know will eventually be the xenomorph from the original Alien, which is the giant creepy thing with the giant tail, stabs people, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I thought Michael Fassbender did a great job. The crew who was among them was Billy Crudup, Danny McBride, Catherine Watterson. They all did good, even James Franco for as brief a time as it did. It made me value those prologue movies that they had shipped out before the movie, because there were two prologues they released. One that was about David and Shaw, and then there was another one that was just about the crew of the Covenant. I wished that I would have paid attention to those more, before watching Alien Covenant because it kind of gives more background information. Immediately once I got home and once I finished seeing the movie, I went back, watched those prologues because it gave more dialogue. But for the most part, this movie is basically all dependent on what you're looking for as both an Alien fan or just a fan of Prometheus. Obviously, if you didn't think Prometheus was that good, then I think this one is definitely a step up from what Prometheus was. If you liked Prometheus and liked the continuing story and like David's the android like I did, then you're probably going to have a good time with this movie. If you're, let's say, overly critical and didn't like Prometheus and probably didn't like David's character and don't like what they're doing with this prequel series, then odds are you're probably not going to like this movie. And that's a simple fact that I came up with as far as this movie. But I thought that it did great. Michael Fassbender definitely played a great role as David. It definitely explored more about the xenomorph origins and everything, and continuing on what Prometheus did. It built on what Prometheus did, and I think it made it better. But also, it took too little risks. It played things very, very safely, and I hope that they take that maybe a step further in the possible prequel to Alien Covenant or sequel to Alien Covenant, depending on where Ridley Scott wants to take this. But supposedly he wants to start filming this next film, say, like next year, supposedly. But we'll see. But I thought Alien Covenant was a solid movie and a fine addition to the Alien franchise. Despite me not knowing a whole lot of the Xenomorph anthology and everything, I have to go back and kind of watch the other movies to kind of understand it. But I think Prometheus and Alien Covenant are good additions. But taking it from my friend's perspective who's read, the comics and all sorts of source material that has come out throughout the years in between Alien and Prometheus and all that, he thought it was a decent movie as well. It's not a perfect movie. There are flaws like anything else, but it does do well. Michael Fassbender brings it. The cast brings it. Danny McBride, I thought, did a great job, even though I was worried about his casting because, I'm very hesitant with comedians or funny people in serious movies because I think then they can be too funny and then it takes away from the overall seriousness of the movie. I kind of wish that the movie had been more scary though, because it was advertised that this movie would be a scary addition to Alien, but I suppose it didn't really do that job to me. I mean, it was interesting, it was thrilling, I was at the edge of my seat, but not at the edge of my seat in terms of, like, fear and everything. But let me know what you guys thought of Alien Covenant, what you thought of Prometheus, and what do you think where this prequel series and where Alien is going from here on out, leading up to the original Alien, because that's where this whole series is eventually supposed to go. It's supposed to link up with the original Alien, and that could be in 6 movies or even a plethora of movies, so says Ridley Scott, but like I said, we'll see. As for my other reviews, just a quick update. Of course, there's this one, Alien Covenant, that I'm providing today, but I will also be doing a review of Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tells No Tales, as well as Wonder Woman and The Mummy coming up. But stay tuned for those. Watch my other ones on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and I believe The Fate of the Furious. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought of Alien Covenant, and also let me know what summer movie you're looking forward to as we get close into the summer season, officially ushered in with Wonder Woman on Thursday of next week, premiere actually, but date being June 2nd. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Adios, and have a great week.